when I get on a plane, I got to tell you, if I see people who are in Muslim garb, and I think, you know, they're identifying themselves first and foremost as Muslims, I get worried. I get nervous.
That was Fox commentator Juan Williams talking on Bill O'Reilly's show this week. The comment got him fired from his other job at National Public Radio. This is a bit awkward, and I don't want to start a family fight here between our NPR and Fox colleagues, but what do you make of this? It got front page play in the New York Times. Nina Totenberg.
Well, I work for NPR, as you said, so I have certain opinions that I actually will not share with you. But I do think that this is a very, you know, NPR didn't let people go to the inaugural balls, even if they're married to somebody that was active and invited. NPR put out a bulletin that people couldn't go to the Jon Stewart March, and they've had issues with Juan before. I'm in the most awkward position here, that talking about a management decision that I may or may not agree with, but it wasn't a terribly popular decision on the news floor.
Colby King.
Well, we only saw part of Juan's statement. He said also during this show that, and cautioned Bill O'Reilly, the host of the show, not to sweep too broadly on Muslims, that they're good Muslims too, and just that you wouldn't want to make a sweeping charge about Christianity because of something that Timothy McVeigh may have done. You don't want to do that to Muslims. So it was a more balanced statement. Certainly what he did, it was not a firing offense. That and that alone, but NPR now is suggesting that there's more to it than that, and like so many things in this world, it's very murky.
Charles, Fox, where you are a contributor, a regular contributor, offered Juan a $2 million contract.
Well, look, I don't think it's a murky issue at all. I think it's a clear issue. On the bigotry charge, it's a joke. It's obviously absurd. If you heard it in context, there was no bigotry at all. Jesse Jackson once talked about the sadness he feels when he's on a street and he hears footsteps and he turns out to be a white person. He said he's relieved. It's the kind of feeling he says he's sad about, but it's something he talked about openly. He's not a bigot. Juan isn't a bigot. But NPR then came up with a second explanation. The CEO said, well, he went over the line of NPR analysts or correspondents expressing opinions. Well, I'm on the set with Juan at least once a week. I've been on the set with Nina here for almost 17 years, and once a week.
Fox.
Well, on this set with you.
Yes.
And I don't understand the inconsistency here. Why is it okay for Nina to express opinions as she has, tartly, sharply, unashamedly, and openly, and she's an honored correspondent there. In fact, that they mention your status here on the show in your biography at NPR, and Juan, because he expresses opinions, he gets canned from NPR. That's what the CEO said yesterday, and in fact the standard ought to be lower in the case of Juan because he's an analyst, whereas Nina is a correspondent.
Well, you know, I think this is, you know, in the modern journalistic world where people are asked to give opinions all the time, whether you're a regular on a show like this or not, if you cover a story, you may be asked to appear on a television show and talk about it. I think it's a very, very difficult line to draw, and NPR tries to draw it, in my view, using rules that don't exist anymore.
But what's the difference between you and Juan expressing opinions, you on his show and him on Fox? It's completely illogical and hypocritical.
That's in Nina's behalf. That's not a question that should be made to answer.
I'm asking, she works at NPR, perhaps she can explain it.
But I think what this episode does demonstrate, or some of that, the changing nature of journalism. There are a lot of blurred lines, and every one of us has to bear in mind what responsibilities and what role we want to take in our profession. And so, you know, it is risky when you get pulled on TV. Sometimes you get asked, if you're a reporter, you sometimes get asked a question that you don't really feel comfortable answering in your capacity as a reporter.
This is all highfalutin journalistic theory. Where did Juan go over the line? I'm defending him. He's a friend of mine. He's an innocent. He got fired. He's a friend of mine
for 20 years. I think he...
Where did he go over the line?
As I said, it was not a firing offense. That's not the question as far as I'm concerned.
Last word, Colby King. A phone call from Virginia Thomas to Anita Hill reignites a 19-year-old controversy. Next.